Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that isn't comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics. Loose off of Jan Ricky's, perusing Sin City.
Oh boy. Been a fun time. Hopefully you guys' Halloween went well, to be honest. And let's back beginning of November, or you guys should see this on the first Monday of November. I believe that's the 3rd. Which means I need to get back on let's get back to work and see if we can start off our month right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopian News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report brought to you by SnortBucks Coffee Company, best beverage company ever. Here we go. So, your boy's fighting a bit of a cold because that's a thing. That's a thing. But overall, doing all right. Hopefully you guys are doing all right as well. So, why are we here? We are here to actually talk about DSP responding to the Dented Zone by KINO Casino. I honestly am not surprised how he chose to react to it. To be honest, I think a lot of us were expecting a major blow up or something along those lines, and that's not the case. What he's going to do, which is what he did do, is he extended it over multiple days, and he's going to let it eat at him. That's what he's going to do. He's going to let his ego go ahead and stew on that shit. He's going to let it eat at him. He's going to give a blow up. Sooner than later, he's going to give a blow up. And will that be one of the things that will push him to leave Kick and then go back to Twitch? Because there's all kinds of shakeups going on Twitch. You know how DSP is with his revenge porn, revenge fantasy type situation. So would that right there be one of the motivations to get him going? Now, I'll probably turn this to, I'll name the segment later, and then you guys will see this, like, if not later in the year, depending on how things go, maybe next year. Because I already have November covered. Like, I had already front-loaded all that, and I'm already working on December plans, which I might have to tweak some of that for various reasons. So we'll see. I'm still aiming for 25 days of Goutmas, but it may be... it might be it might be a 12 or 13 days till Goutmas. We'll see. So I'm still teetering on how that works. But in any case, let's go ahead and delve into this further. Let's go into my favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully your favorite segment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. So, the the ramifications, if you will, the results of the dented zone is apparent, is very apparent. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people are still watching it. And KINO Casino is reaping the benefits of that, as they should. For DSP, it is by far the most damaging depiction of what his home life is, based on what little information that he is given, but vastly backed up or vastly reinforced by his depictions and his descriptions of his life over the span of the last decade or so. That shit is damaging. That shit is hurtful. Hurtful. You know what I'm saying? I've heard people say that they've had secondhand embarrassment for Phil because of how bad that situation was. DSP's current cope of it is not very good. He's going to just try to sweep it under the rug, if you will, or not give too much attention to it, but it's very clear that it hurts him and it bothers him. Is it the final stake in the in Gouty Dracula, though? Is this really gonna be what's gonna kick him off of the platform, or finally bring down the Snort Fort? No, and it wasn't meant to. The damage is meant to be far more internal than external. You know what I'm saying? But DSP doesn't get that, and that's kind of the method in the madness of PPP's writing and Andy's acting. You know what I'm saying? This is something that's meant to target you. Is meant to hurt you, not to go ahead and fuck up this glamorized self-image that you think you have that doesn't even exist. And DSP, it has to deal with that. And that's where we're at basically currently. So if this really didn't mean anything to DSP, he would have let it go. He would have done a one-shot response to it and let it go. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, I have a response for him over the span of 3 days, from October 3rd, October 5th, and October 7th. That's what we're going to go ahead and go over, and that's going to basically, we're going to get enveloped with the with his gouty coping and seething, because that's all it is. That's all it is. You know what I mean? But I also think that this is definitely going to make it to, I think Proper's doing it this year again. Big ups to Agent Proper. I think this is definitely going to be in the top 10 worst moments. Absolutely. And then if there was, let's say, if there was a cute pup in a sharp suit that came up with this fucking absolutely malicious idea of what would be the top 10 worst moments of the last decade, if you will, this has to be up there. This has to be up there. This, I think the dented zone definitely has to be in his worst moment of 2025 for sure. So if I was going to go, let's hypothetically, if I was going to go from 2025 all the way back to 2015, which that's when the first, this is when the first top 10 worst moments happened. And if I was to pick a moment from each and every year moving forward, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that's all I have to say about that. In any case, hopefully you guys are doing well. Let's go ahead and just get into the situation and whatnot. I held you guys long enough. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And let's go ahead and move on with our situation. Not to put any ideas out there. Not to do that. So that'd be malicious. That'd be malicious if I tried to engineer DSP's demise in some way, shape, or form. Let's go ahead and get our chessboard out, though, because you know me, I love playing games. And let's see what our situation is.
What it's going to be. Let's find.
All right. Here we go with his little gouty hoof. And ladies and gentlemen, let's try to give credit where credit's due here. This is the daily wipe and whatnot. DSP gaming and whatnot. So that's that. But after that, the real hero of this of this broadcast, Raw Phil, will be in position. So we're just gonna go ahead and give credit to Raw Phil altogether, because that's what I feel like doing. That's what I feel like doing, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Raw Phil and some contribution from DSP Gaming. And DSP responds to, and big ups to Diggs for putting this all together for me. Darkside Phil responds to the Dented Zone and KINO Casino. This is from October 3rd, October 5th, and October 7th of 2025, our year of the snake and the snakening. And funny enough, DSP is still dealing with the repercussions of the snakening. And that's the part that's even funnier, because DSP is so quick to tell you, I took control of the situation. I was the one who was in control of my own destiny, and I got over on those guys. I robbed the bank. I did this. I did that. And the reality is, he's only condemned himself to further pain and suffering and humiliation. I mean, that's all wrapped up in there anyway. Was it really worth it, Phil, dicking these people over, allegedly, air quotes, to have your way, to make your way, to do the same slop bullshit you were doing before KINO Casino, picked your ass up out of the gutter, cleaned your ass up, and made you 50 grand over 8 months? Was it really worth it? What's going to come next? You know what I'm saying? You use them as a crutch, right? And now they're literally going to be the hammer that's going to come down on you, along with all the other hammers and mallets and so on and so forth, to mold you and shape you in a way that you'll never be able to really reform from. You're never going to really come back from that. Is it going to cancel you? No, but that's not what the design of it was. You know what I'm saying? Just like how SOK wasn't out to have him be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Or kick him off of YouTube or off the internet at large. It's not about that. DSP does that. He puts out that fear mongering because he's trying to draw sympathy, because that's all he can do. He can't defend himself. You know what I mean? All that shit talk and all that lame ass fucking weak shit, it don't mean nothing. Look at how quickly he ain't sat there and took in the knee to get wings back on. You chased that man for 18 months. I've got that coming up too. The interview, and then the his decompression stream and whatnot. That's coming soon. I need to record it. They're gonna be long though. I gotta tell you, they're gonna be long as hell. I'm gonna let you know right now. That shit's gonna be long as shit. But in any case, look at how you're running around chasing men on the internet for what? For help, basically. You're basically chasing these men around the internet. These are the lol cows, if you will, for help, to prop you up. Which is weird, because if you're above being a lol cow, why would you go to another lol cow for help? I never understood that. And we'll delve more into that when we get into the wing shit. But either which way, we're here with the dented zone. And here's DSP's initial response. Like I said, this is from October 3rd of 2025, our current year of the snake. And without further ado, I don't smell no bacon cooking. Here we go. And thank you for coming to my extended TED Talk.
Sure what it's going to be. Let's find out. All right. But thank you all. What a great week. Overall, this week was great. Tons of support, great positivity, awesome gameplay progress. Everything went well. I hope to see you when I come back on Sunday. All right. Be safe on Saturday. Have a good night, everyone. See you.
I thought we were working out and shit. That arm flap that ain't looking very good, Phil. I don't know. You may want to tighten that shit up. Just saying.
On Sunday. Peace out and bye-bye. Oh, one more thing. One more little addendum. All right? Because I'm not going to be here tomorrow, and undoubtedly people will probably bring this up and say, oh, he's not here tomorrow, right?
Oh, now let me be very clear about this tip. So if my calculations are correct, the dented zone actually came out on October 3rd. DSP was late to his evening stream because he was watching it. And as soon as that segment, that premiere of the dented zone came out on the KINO Casino stream on Kick, DSP goes live. Like literally the moment that shit was done, DSP goes live. DSP clearly saw it. He clearly watched all of that shit. If I had to guess, he's watched it a few times since. And yet again, that's his ego stewing over the bullshit. He thinks, and I'm pretty sure, once he finally blows up about it, he's going to do every little nitpick. He's going to try to go through and say, oh, this is wrong, and this is an exaggeration on this bullshit. Here's the reality, Phil. Just react to the shit. Do a stream where you're going to be like, I'm going to debunk the dented zone and actually react to each and every part of that shit. Just do that. Save yourself the trouble with all these bullshit explanations and all this coping and all that bullshit, and just react to it. But he won't, because he's scared of it. Now, well, I can't say that. He is scared of it, but I think he might actually do it. He may actually do it if he's pushed far enough to. But at least initially, though, I'm thinking that he won't. It cuts too deep. It cuts way too deep. And then more importantly, he's going to have to sacrifice Cat to save himself. And that's what that's where the meta really starts to get crazy. He's going to have to sacrifice Cat to save himself. If in his own mind, I should say, if he really wants to come out of this dented zone shit looking somewhat reasonable, which won't happen. But he already takes shots at his own wife anyway. So what's the difference? No, he's not strong enough to Pepsi power bomber like what fucking Wings did to fucking Kelly. But Jesus Christ, the verbal jabs and punches he throws at Cat, it's just as bad as far as I'm concerned. Hell, it might even be worse in some cases. Anywho, but like I said, DSP watched it, and then he ends up going live. This is the night where he decides to respond to it. If he hadn't have watched it, he probably wouldn't have said anything, which only gives more evidence or credence to the fact that he actually did. He sat through an hour and 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and whatnot. That shit must have been painful. That shit must have been painful. And you'll see that pain as we move forward.
I'll just get this out of the way now. This way we don't have to address it on Sunday when I come back. There were a lot of trolls on my stream tonight. Okay, for Hades too. Being toxic and being stupid. Basically saying, haha, KINO Casino did another segment on you. Okay, it's this simple, because I've explained this, but people don't seem to understand. I don't care. I don't watch them. I haven't talked to them.
Good. Anyway, of course he's watched them. And of course he cares about what they say about him. DSP is obsessed with his self-image. He's obsessed with it. Because of that, it makes him predictable. If you're predictable, you can be controlled. You can be manipulated. If you can be manipulated, you can be controlled. And DSP will always fall for basic ass bullshit because that's all he's good for. The advanced stuff usually goes way over his head, and he's usually quiet about it. If he really doesn't understand something, he'll just shut the fuck up about it. But for the stuff that's really basic, that's just enough to hit his oddly shaped forehead or that Willow's peak, he's addressing it because he don't have much else to do. So trust me, he's keeping up with KINO Casino daily. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he hasn't said anything on that on KINO Casino's clip channel on YouTube. I'm surprised he hasn't commented on anything yet. But give it time. He's building up enough confidence to say something on those LTG troll videos, big ups to them. And on those wing videos, mainly Lummox, big ups to them. So sooner than later, he'll let it slip. Something will be said where he'll think it's clever, or he'll think he'll be able to capitalize, or gets him in his feelings, and he'll end up fucking shooting sooner than later.
Them since March. I'm never going to watch their content again. I'm never going to respond to their content. I don't care about them.
You're responding to it now, but semantics. And remember, he's never going to respond to any of their comments or their content ever again. This is the third. This is the third. He talks about it again on the 5th, and then he talks about it again on the 7th.
They're insignificant humans to me. They don't matter. Do you understand? Like, they don't. They have nothing to do with me. I have nothing to do with them. The fact that it is October. So we are what? Let's see. Let's do the math. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months. 7 months where I have done nothing with them, have no association with them, don't talk about them.
That's literally a lie. Like, I'm sorry, didn't the 666 podcast happen literally after that? Haven't you been taking shots at them in the months following that? The fuck are you talking about? And this was the same shit he tried to say with the Stuttering Craig situation after Side Scrollers about, oh, Craig was trying to make money off of me for the last 16 to 18 months. And that's not what happened. That's literally not the case. DSP literally obsessed about Stuttering Craig for like damn near a year and a half, if longer than that, almost. Craig very rarely brought him up unless, you know what I'm saying, it was sent to him in like a super chat or whatever the case may be. But that's what DSP does. He covets. So, and then, like I said, the revenge fantasies and all that bullshit.
The only time I bring them up is when you guys do. You guys will bring them up on a stream and I'll respond to someone and say something. That's it.
That's a nice filter, but that doesn't mean anything. Because how many troll comments does he get about whoever and he ignores it? Shit, back when he was on Twitch, dude, you had to get really clever to say anything as when you were bringing up Tevin, Snortburnell, Mighty D, you know, some of those guys, big ups to them. But like, you had to be really clever when you were making comments about that shit on Twitch. And he ignored all that shit. Thanks for your $2, and he just kept it pushing. So it's funny how we can ignore stuff like that, and he even ignores most troll stuff now. But he always feels the need to respond to the KINO Casino shit.
I don't think about them ever. They have nothing to do with me,
Sure.
right? The fact that 7 months later, they're doing big segments on me, it means one simple thing. I was right all along. I'm the one who robbed the casino. They are so butthurt.
I thought he didn't care. They were insignificant. They didn't hold any value. Whatever. Semantics.
About it. That they're never going to let go because they think, oh, we keep making content about him. We win. No. You lost. Get it? You lost. I pulled a heist. You can never get back what I took from you. I am now doing very well because of it.
What'd you take from them? And keep in mind, like I said, I said it in the actual Dented Zone reaction. I had said that there was a comment out there. Like someone asked him under one of DSP's videos about what is it that he took away from KINO Casino, or what did he take back? Let's say that from KINO Casino, and he said something along like his dignity or some bullshit. Whatever. There's something along those lines. Like, remember, that was all supposed to be a collaboration type thing. So how did it go from you guys collaborating to them taking something from you? And now you have this narrative of you taking something from them and they're never going to get back. You see what my method is? He really was hurt. He really felt like he was being prostituted, even though he prostituted himself. He feels like he was being prostituted or whored out in some way, shape, or form that made him less than what he was when they started dealing with him in the first place. So now, being that he has that revenge porn fantasy type bullshit, now he feels that he has to take something away from them. You know what I'm saying? He has to have some type of ownership over something that they have and tell them that they can't get it back. when they were never out to, or they never set out to, take anything from him in the first place. That's how deep this bullshit is, at least on his end. For KINO Casino, it's just another Tuesday. Fucking wild, bro. Wild shit.
I left before you could screw me. You're fucked. I don't watch your shit. Nothing you do affects me. Nothing. You can send your trolls over. No one cares. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm happy. Thanks to you being so fucking stupid. So enjoy doing segments on me. I'm never going to watch it. I don't care what it was about. The cronies came over to spam my chat about it, like ban, ban, ban. Okay, ignore them, right? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about any of it. It's just stupidity. So
you're ignoring them, then why'd you ban them? Maybe he doesn't know what ignoring means. That's possible. Great screenshot, by the way.
It just goes to show, I think I struck a nerve when I talked about a certain someone wanting to fly me out to Florida to go to a bar with him. I think I struck a nerve, a certain gay person.
Yeah, that whole thing, like, that's fucking weird as shit. You're going to sit there and accuse PvP of wanting to fly you out to Florida and have gay butt sex with you. But the way you're obsessing about LTG over the last 3 years, how does any straight man do that on that level? Because they won't talk to you. Remember, LTG don't want to talk to him. You don't want to play with him. You don't want to do any of that bullshit. And it's making DSP far more obsessive about it. DSP treats LTG like a toy. Like he's a thing. He's an item to be acquired. Oh, I can't get this? Oh, now I got to obsess about it even more. Oh, you won't accept me? Oh, I'm going to force you to accept me because now I'm going to stay on you until you just break down. So let's go back a little bit. I want to like get too bad there's no written record of any of that exchange between DSP and Panda. But, you know what I'm saying? Panda did come out and say that DSP was basically, she basically said everything less of DSP was harassing her until she agreed to go out with him. How long did he do that for? How long did he badger and obsess about and harass Panda Lee before she agreed to date him? It's not like she was like, oh, well, you know, would you want to be a couple or anything? DSP was the one who pushed that narrative. And probably when he initially put it out there, she's like, no, I'll think about it. I'm not really looking at that. And then it just made him want to obsess about the situation even more. Just like that one girl back when he was in like high school or some shit, he was obsessing about, and it was getting unhealthy, and he was scared that he was going to end up doing something drastic. Meaning what, Phil? Were you going to go ahead and were you going to attack her? Were you going to stab her? Were you going to pull a Chris Chan and well, if you guys know the Chris Chan lore, you know what I'm talking about on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Were you planning on raping her and shit? What was the situation there? Keep that in mind. So take everything that DSP's done before with these women in his life at one time or another, girls really, there was young girls that he was obsessing about, and then apply that shit to what he's doing now to, what he did to Wings, what he's doing to Low Tier God, what he did with Craig, what he's doing with KINO Casino and PPP and Andy. He's someone who covets. He obsesses about things and about people who he can't control or what he can't obtain. Take it all in.
Who really wanted to spend time with me, and then he's so butthurt that now I basically have nothing to do with them, and I basically robbed the casino. They can't take it, right? They just cannot cope. So instead, they see they are still making content 7 months later, and they probably will forever.
Keep in mind, they were making content about him before they even got cool with him. And DSP knew that. And DSP was coping, saying, oh, well, they make fun of everybody. They take jabs at everybody, so it's no big deal. Remember? That's what he fed people, the Dents. That's what he fed them leading up to him starting to collaborate with those guys. Now, all of a sudden, he robbed them. He stole from them. They're coping and seething, and now they're obsessed with him after the fact. Even though they were doing this before. This was an established pattern. It's just escalated since. Womp womp.
Because they just can't handle the fact that they took a big fucking L and there's nothing they can do about it.
Cope sip.
And that's all I have to say about that. I'm done with it.
You know, he drank himself nice W pose there. That's what I'm gonna call it, the W pose. It's funny how he drank himself into a crazy ass stupor after he got off that stream. Because you know he watched it again before he went to bed. and whatnot, and he just drank himself stupid. That hangover Saturday morning must have been crazy. It must have, well, Saturday afternoon, now that I think about it. It was probably pretty crazy. Probably like what Wings goes through after those Wendy's and Zaxby binges that he has. And then you don't see him for like 14 hours.
Happy. I'm moved on. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good.
What is this? Like, I've seen some of Big Ups to Broside Phil. I've seen some of Broside Phil's like videos going over this shit. What is this? This is just, what is this? This is sad. Also, I need to point it out, and I didn't really think about it, so it is what it is. I'm kind of not surprised that he went with the Mortal Kombat theme for Halloween, to be honest with you. I'm kind of not surprised. And I'm also not surprised that he went with, with Sub-Zero. It would have been funny if he had gone with Reptile with the green theme, basically. That would have been far more hilarious. But semantics. I'm not really surprised though that he went with a Mortal Kombat theme. I'm really not surprised. I didn't telegraph it. I didn't have any foresight on it. But him going with Mortal Kombat kind of made sense. I kind of see him doing that. Because he's not brave enough to do a PPP or Andy type thing. There was no way he was going to do anything against Wings or Low Tier God or Keemstar. Something that would actually drum in attention. DSP's a coward. He's going to play it safe.
I'm nice and buff.
And he's still trying to attract kids to his content, which is creepy, honestly.
Now, and I'm happy and I'm healthy and I'm in a good place. I don't need to go back to a toxic bad place when I'm in a good place, right?
Yeah, you look at like the Pikachu fucking shit in the background. It's pretty telling. Darkness, the darkest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Everyone, thank you for a great streaming week. Have a good night. See you Sunday. Peace out. Okay.
Okay. Now we're here October 6th, or October 5th, I'm sorry, of 2025. The real hero of our story, Raw Phil. Here we go.
All right. We're approaching the end of the podcast. We'll probably end within 5 minutes. So I do have one thing to adjourn with. Someone tipped $1 to talk about it, and I'm just, the person who just tipped $1, just so you know, I'm just about to address it to close the show, okay? Just so everyone knows, okay? But we'll get to that in a second. It'll be how I'm going to actually close the show, all right? No, I don't write a script for the podcast. No, I don't. I just have a list of topics in my head I want to cover, and I go bing, bing, bing in my head, and that's it. I don't have anything written, no outline, no script, nothing like that.
He wouldn't be able to stick to it anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Definitely an unscripted show. Yeet Mania says, you know, it's funny. There's this viral movement anti-Microsoft, but I know 4 people who just got an email that said, oh, my Xbox Game Pass price is going up. They didn't even know about the viral movement. They just said, nah, and they just canceled.
Why would you need a viral movement if something comes up that you're not comfortable with, you're just gonna drop it? Shit, there was a bunch of people. Remember when like Netflix put that edict out where you couldn't share accounts and shit like that? Dude, the amount of money that fucking Netflix lost off that shit was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was more advantageous to go ahead and allow people to just share and whatnot, and to gradually bring more people in, than to go ahead and force the change, and then who knows what they lost on that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Netflix is still a thing, but let's be honest, everybody wants to talk about right now, like, oh, pirating is starting to come back into prominence, or it's starting to become popular again. Pirating was always a thing, to be honest. And I think when Netflix did that bullshit is when the pirating started to really come back. To be honest with you, that's what the situation was. On top of the fact where you're only, Netflix only allowed you to access certain shows, so VPN started to become real serious. Because, boy, the shit that you see on Japan's Netflix or China or Korea, that shit fucking hits so goddamn hard. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shows that you see in Canada are fucking hilarious. Stuff like that. So, it wasn't, the situation when, I mean, let's be honest though, too. Xbox is trying to get out of the hardware game anyway. They're literally native to PC no matter what. They're just going to get into the software game. You know what I mean? And they might as well, because they lose money on consoles anyway. I think all companies do. So it is what it is. But the subscription going up, I mean, I'm going to do it because I'm an asshole. I blame that shit directly on Call of Duty. I blame it directly on Activision, because obviously that Activision merger was not a good look, and the books were all cooked. And and like when they acquired Activision and Call of Duty in particular, dude, Call of Duty isn't the powerhouse that it was. That shit's been on the downtick. You know what I'm saying? So that 300 million, the fact that they lost 300 million on Black Ops 6 is insane. It's insane, but not unexpected though. But who knows how much they're going to lose on Black Ops 7, which is in a worse situation, I think, than Black Ops 6 was at launch. You know what I'm saying? Now, just in case y'all don't know, when they put out those tweets, because the Call of Duty fucking Twitter account is tweeting far more than it's had in a number of years. They put out you'll see something with the replacement, that guy, the replacer or replacement up there, right? Well, if you look at the bottom of those tweets, of the picture, I should say, in the tweets, there's a barcode there. There's a code, there's a line of numbers. If you put that in, you can actually get Black Ops 7. I want to tell you, it's the Black Cell version. You can get it for free. They're literally giving out, occasionally, between now and launch, they're giving out literally free copies or free bundles of their game. When does Call of Duty do that? On top of the fact that they're doing more free weekends, or, you know, hey, try Black Ops 6 for free for a week or 4 days or whatever. They're doing more of that than they ever did for, I'd say, Modern Warfare 3 Remastered. And you got at least 2 of those guaranteed every season. You would get it before, in the beginning of the season, first week, and then they would do it during Reloaded. Black Ops 6 barely did any of that. You know what I'm saying? Now they're doing it towards the end of its life cycle. And yeah, you could say, oh, it's Battlefield, which is fair. But I also think that Microsoft is looking at, you know, their latest acquisition, and they're being like, oh shit, we may have fucked ourselves. So they're just coming down on Activision and being like, yo, you need to get these game sales up by any means necessary. So anyway, that's just an ongoing thing, but it just gives you an idea of what it is. You don't need something to go viral to be notified or be informed and shit. Not everybody's fucking sheeple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think literally they will lose a third of their subscriber base. I'm almost 100% that's going to happen. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to end the show. I'm going to take a break. We're going to set up, and it's going to be Call of Duty Black Ops 7 for 2.5 more hours. I would love your suggestions on what are the better weapons, what loadout should I use, because now I've unlocked some stuff from playing last time. So I'd love to customize and do better today than I did last time. All right, so feedback, greatly appreciated, everybody, if you could give me some. Let's have a...
Oh, I got a theory real fast, too. This pertains to the Wings of Redemption situation, where DSP is telling Wings to give up on Battlefield 6. It's not meant for streamers like them and yada, 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 yada. That's such a shitty thing to say to somebody who predominantly puts out first-person shooter content, but also it gives DSP an out from not having to collaborate with Wings, because Wings did him a favor. No matter how you look at it, he did him a favor. So Wings is going to want him to collaborate on Battlefield or Call of Duty or something along those lines. DSP don't want to do it, and he already knows he don't want to do it. And that's why DSP's pushing, oh, well, we can do another talking segment or whatever, or we can talk about this, or we can talk about that. He doesn't actually want to do any collaborations with him from a gameplay standpoint. One, it would show how bad DSP is at FPS shooters. And two, there's going to be banter. And DSP don't like the banter. He don't know how to talk, to be honest with you. It's easy to talk into the void. It's a lot harder to talk to someone else, especially if you're antisocial. So that's why he wants that's why DSP wants Wings to give up on Battlefield 6. But then that right there leads into why he wants Wings to give up on KINO Casino. That's why DSP is slowly but surely trying to get Wings to turn his back on his mods. DSP's trying to isolate him. DSP wants Wings to be completely and utterly dependent on him. And Wings isn't going to do that. Wings' mods give him money, first and foremost. KINO Casino is always, or not KINO Casino, Lockout Live is always going to be a door open for him. It's essentially an ATM that Wings can always go to. DSP can't compensate for that. He's not a replacement for that. So the fact that DSP is pushing this narrative of, oh, you really can't trust your mods, Wings. oh, you need to really, figure out what you're going to do and break away from Lol Cow Live, and I can help you do that. You just need to believe in yourself and get yourself in shape and all that bullshit. Oh, you need to give up on Battlefield 6 because it's not meant for streamers like us. You see the manipulation? And it's not even good manipulation. Wings is stupid. Wings is dumb, but he may not necessarily be the dumbass that DSP thinks he is.
Great stream. Let's hit that goal. Tonight, the conclusion of Silent Hill F. We have a couple days to figure out what we're doing on Tuesday. If we're doing Hades 2 again or if we're doing Mario Galaxy 2, let's figure that out. Okay? All right. Time to end the show. So how am I going to close the show today? Well, it's very simple. Many people today have been trying to talk about it. All right. I already addressed this on Friday night, but a lot of people don't know I did.
And I thought you said you didn't care. It wasn't a big deal. You're the one who beat them. And then he's basically admitting that the daily wipe doesn't have any value. It doesn't mean anything. So what's the point of doing it then if that's the case? If you're acknowledging that that's the case. If you put your PSA out on this particular show that you seem the need to do every day and no one watched it, then what good is it? Womp womp.
So on Friday night, on the Daily Wrap, I said about a 3-minute piece about KINO Casino. All right. So here's the deal. That hasn't changed. Okay. Because here's the truth about KINO Casino. They are farmers of drama and lol cow content on the.
Why are you looking up at the ceiling? What are you on, some Nick Rekieta shit? Like I say, you on that nose candy or something? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Internet. What they do is they make content about someone in the hopes that that person will then respond to what they have done. They will directly say things about what they said or did, and that allows them to have a counterpoint. It allows them to respond back. And it's this endless cycle of content that they farm. That's exactly what they do. And to be quite frank, they're very good at it. In fact, there's a rumor right now that this guy iDubbbz apparently is going to actually unretire and do a content cop episode.
It doesn't mean anything. Okay, first off, you deflecting behind somebody else doesn't surprise me, so it is what it is on that. The bringing up iDubbbz is the least was probably a terrible example. First off, Ian doesn't have the heart to do content cop the way he used to. Like his peak was probably the Leafy is here shit. I would argue that was probably the last great content cop that he did. He doesn't have the heart to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's too busy with his troll remorse and going around doing all this other shit, and he ain't let that fucking pear-face shaped girl fucking fuck his whole head up and all that bullshit, Anissa, and all that nonsense. Like, Ian doesn't have it in him to do another content cop that's threatening to anybody at all. And everybody knows it. Ian knows it. So that's the first thing. Secondly, Ian was smarter, or he should have been. He should have been smart enough not to respond to KINO Casino. And normally, if the attack was only on him, he wouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? And I think he tried to tell Anissa that too. Like, hey, just let it go. Because if we give them anything, they're going to just keep at us. And she kept badgering his ass and whatnot. Because she wasn't fucking woman enough to make her own video or stream about it. And so Ian basically fucking fell on the sword, or he fell on the grenade for her ass. And that's what that was. And that was the biggest win of KINO Casino's career up to this point. To be honest, it was a bad idea. It was a bad idea for iDubbbz to do that shit. But if he makes a content cop on them, it's even worse. Ian responding to KINO Casino was already a bad move. If he actually does a content cop and it don't hit, and it more than likely won't, he's fucked. He's fucked. Because here's the thing, and let me actually try to spell this out. He's fucked for more than one reason. If he does the content cop, which I don't even know if he's going to, but let's say he does, hypothetically. If he does it, then you got people like Hassan Piker that's going to want to respond to it. You're going to have Denims, fucking Frogan, the other fucking junkie, Casey Tron. You're going to have Ethan Klein, who he may respond to it unless he's smart and realize, yeah, we don't give trolls fucking props over here for that bullshit. You have XQC, you have Asmongold, you have all of these people who will eventually get drawn into the shit if Ian does this shit. He'll give KINO Casino more power and more publicity than they've ever had. It's the most foolish thing in the world to do if Ian does that content cop. He would literally be passing over the remainder of his soul to KINO Casino. And that's what KINO Casino is banking on. It's not Ian doing the content cop, you know, just because. It's everybody else who's going to watch it. And everybody's going to find out who KINO Casino is, for good, bad, or otherwise. And then that's when people start picking sides. Oh, well, has he gone at someone that we don't like before? Oh, we can latch on to that. Oh, have they taken some shots or been critical of something that I've said or done? Oh, well, let me find out what that is. And then everybody's going to do it on stream because, you know, everybody has to do everything out in the goddamn public. It's the worst thing they could do. It's the worst thing Ian can do. Right now, all Ian needs to do is just shut the fuck up and let it go. He really decides to go ahead and bring a content cop out. He's done. He's done. If he thinks that fucking KINO Casino is annoying now, he will make them 100 times more powerful if he does that shit. What little influence he has left will literally go to his trolls to only enrich and strengthen them. It's the worst possible idea. You know what I'm saying? And if someone like me can, you know, has the foresight to see that, just imagine what PPP and Andy are thinking about if it really happens. Fucking A. That's the worst possible idea.
On KINO Casino, because KINO Casino have been covering him in a negative way over the last several months.
No, they've been covering Ian for longer than that. Longer than that. Which just goes to show how fucking out of the loop DSP is.
And people are basically on the internet saying, what a mistake. Because that's exactly what they want. They want this guy to fall into their clutches so that they have an endless farm of content to work from. And they will make thousands of dollars on it. Do you understand?
Shit, if that content cop comes out, they'll make even more than that. They'll make even more than that.
So here's the truth.
And that actually makes things worse for DSP, because the more eyes that are on KINO Casino, that means the more eyes that KINO Casino can put on DSP. And he definitely don't want that.
I have not actively thought about KINO Casino in a very long time because I don't care about them.
Except for the fact you've been thinking about them for the last like 48 hours at this point.
The only time that I think about them is when you guys are bringing them up, and then I'll respond. You know, I'm not going to pretend like they don't exist or anything like that. But if you guys bring them up, I'll respond to what you're saying, and then we move right on. There haven't been any elongated...
Sounds like we're pushing the goalpost back. But that's just me, though. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the situation.
Nasty segments about them. I haven't really cared about anything. I'm well aware that they've talked negatively about me tons of times in the last 7 months since I last worked with them. For the record, it's been 7 months. I want you all to understand this. 7 months.
Now, keep in mind, from my previous monologue, DSP has been chasing LTG for like 3 years. Actually, he's been chasing him longer than that. Because if you know your lore, he's actually been chasing LTG since 2016, 2017, actually. It's only ramped up over the years, though. But that's really how long DSP has been chasing LTG. But semantics. So, we'll make it more convenient, stick to the timeline. He's been chasing LTG for at least 3 years. He was chasing, he's still chasing him. He's been chasing Craig from Side Scrollers for like 18 months. He was obsessing about it for 18 months. Between the Side Scrollers interview and then the Craig and DSP interview. And he's still obsessed about Craig even now. He chased fucking Wings for the better part of 16 to 18 months. He's still chasing him, actually. And let's see, who else is he chasing? What's the other man in his life that he's obsessed with? Craig, Low Tier God, Wings. There's one more person. I mean, besides John, of course. I think that's it for now. He's still obsessed with talking to Moist Critical and Mudahar. So there you go. There's that rounds us off. He's been chasing all these men for the better part of like 2 years. I want you to think about that. He's talking about, I don't obsess about these people. I don't think about these people, so on and so forth. The hell you know? What are you talking about? And you live on the internet. So you see these people, quote unquote, every day. And how is it that people covet things, ladies and gentlemen? You covet what you see every day. Womp womp.
Since I worked with them. And I split off contact and said, I'm done with you. It wasn't them that made the decision. It was me. I actively said, this is what's best for me and my audience. Right?
Control junkie. But it wasn't the best for his audience for the 8 months that he was reaping the $50,000 and the internet was looking at him different and they were helping him with his reputation and all that, right? Right? Right.
Right? And that was the end of it. They were so upset that I was taking control of the situation and actually standing up for myself and all that. They couldn't take it, right? They were so upset.
So you were admitting that you were being dog walked and you were their bitch and all that bullshit? Oh, okay. That's enlightening.
So 7 months, they've been talking about me. They've been doing all this. And then apparently, from what I'm to understand, they did a big special about me on Friday night. I've not seen it. I've seen it. I'll be honest. I saw a couple screenshots of it. That's about it.
I haven't seen it, but I saw screenshots of it. Yeah, does that make sense to you? No, it don't make sense. Let him keep going, though. It starts to make even less sense as he keeps talking.
It's only been screenshots on social media and people saying stuff about it. I have not watched it for myself. I'm not going to watch it for myself. I have no interest in it.
Which is funny because it was mainly the track to Twitter that was really pushing a lot of that shit around. Uh-oh. Is that our verification that DSP is obsessed with detractor Twitter? Not necessarily, but it's a good piece of evidence.
I don't care about these guys, all right? What they want me to do is watch it, respond to it, and give them content.
Which you've already watched it, and you are responding to it. You're literally doing what they want right now. Womp womp.
No. You get nothing. Nada. Zilch. Zero. You deserve nothing. You get nothing. Get it? I'm not going to content farm for you because I don't need to. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm healthy.
If you have to say all those things, it probably gives people the notion that you're none of those things. I'm just throwing it out there. Does DSP look healthy to you? Mentally, physically, or otherwise? Just thought I'd put it out there. Great screenshot, by the way.
I'm successful. I'm doing good. As I was doing this talk, I just received 20 gifted memberships. I don't need to do anything for you.
Are they Argentinian pesos, though? Like, that's the real question, but semantics.
Nor do I have to engage with you. I have no interest in you. All right? And the funny part is, from the 2 thumbnails that I saw, 2 thumbnails, that's all.
I thought they were screenshots. Now they're thumbnails? Okay.
All I saw. Screenshots, I should call them, actually. The 2 screenshots that I saw. Distinctly, I'm looking at it like, oh my God, I could say this and I could say that, and that would be funny, and that would really, people would say, oh, you got him.
Then why didn't you do it? Because he can't do it without throwing cat under the bus. That's why. They got your ass boxed in. And he know it. Great screenshot, by the way. That dirty Sanchez on his fucking top lip. Or just under his snout. Anyway, they got his ass boxed in. Anything that he says about that shit is going to probably have to be a direct shot towards Cat. And he can't afford that. Because that shit is pretty damning, bruh. It's pretty fucking damning. It's that dented zone thing is a really, really hard shot. That is a really, really hard shot. It's definitely a knockout. And it's a really hard knockout to be able to respond from. That's on some... I mean, I want to kind of equate it to when Roy Jones got knocked out by Tarver the first time, and Jones hadn't been the same ever since. Hasn't been the same ever since. Like that. Like that's a tough shot to walk away from. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to really be able to come back from that. And sooner than later, DSP is going to have to address it, like really address it. And if he wants to make himself some money and drum up some drama and attention, he should do a stream where he's reacting to it. You know what I'm saying? Spend the whole day reacting to that bullshit. Turn it into a fucking event. Whatever the fuck. But he can't sit through it. He knows he can't. Because there was a part in the June the King documentary that he wanted to skip over. I don't think he went over that documentary in full. There had to have been at least one segment that he completely and utterly tried to speed run through or just skipped it altogether. He can't face that. and he knows he can't. He can go ahead and try to compartmentalize and, okay, maybe this piece I can address, and maybe this piece right here, maybe I'll go ahead and get one of my dents to timestamp it, and I'll choose what, within that hour plus what I can address and what I can't. But he can't address that shit as a whole. He can't do that. Not at all. That shit is devastating.
But wait a minute. That's exactly what they want. That's why they did it. 7 months later, after the fact, they're still obsessing on me. Why?
So you're willing to let your wife, letting yourself get humiliated is whatever. You're willing to let your wife get humiliated like that for no fucking reason? Just so you can fucking save your fragile little ego? And people say he got pride? All right, then. And he's also doing the little fucking, he's doing the droopy mouth shit. He's doing it right here. He's literally in the stages of doing that shit. Holy fuck. I'm telling you, man, Andy's acting was on point with that. That shit was so crazy. So crazy.
Because I'm the one guy who got them.
Wow.
I was smarter than them. I played them. I beat them. I robbed the casino. They can't fucking take it. They are coping and seething for 7 straight months. And now they think this is it. You got nothing. It doesn't affect me. I have 0 effect from anything you say or do about me ever. Don't you understand that DSP is bulletproof and always will be? Because I've been here before you, and God damn it, I'll be here long after you're gone.
Wow.
I am eternal when it comes to this content creation.
I'm eternal. I'm eternal. Is Darkside Phil he gave up the King of Hate moniker so he could become the one who shall not be named? Is that what this is supposed to be, Phil? That's what your new evolution's gonna be? Get the fuck out of here. Bulletproof. Holy shit, that's fantastic. Good on you, Phil. Good on you. That means you're willing to take all comers then, right? That means it doesn't matter who, decides to send shots down range. If you're bulletproof, you got nothing to worry about, right? Which means you can take anything head on then, right? There's no read the coward away from something or whatever, right? Nothing can shake you, nothing can break you. Maybe I'm making some pretty strong assumptions here.
I'll do it for as long as I want, as well as I want, and I'll stop doing it the day when I'm tired of it. I'm in control of myself and my destiny, and nobody else. Doesn't matter what you say and do. Doesn't matter how many nasty documentaries you make about me, how many hour-long obsessive videos you make.
How do you know it's that long? And who said anything about it being a documentary? All right, whatever. Give DSP enough rope and he'll hang himself. Give him enough rope and he'll hang himself.
About me, how many slanderous things you say about me. None of it matters. I'll still be here every day making my own content, having a good life.
Good. Great, Phil. We love that for you. You do you, King.
You'll still be that person that wishes you were me.
What? Where did we go from? Okay, that's a pretty big jump in logic, but all right then.
Yes, folks. I'll say it one more time. All these people who constantly say shit about me, do you want to know why? Because they all wish they were me.
Well, then under that logic, doesn't that mean you wish you were Justin, or you wish you were Max, a Maximilian dude, or you wish you were PewDiePie, or you wish you were Markiplier, or you wish that you were Ninja, or you wish that you were anybody who wasn't you? I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to throw that logic out there that people who make fun of DSP want to desperately be him because they criticize him or they make fun of him or whatever, then doesn't that say the same about the very people that he criticizes and shits on or whatever? Does that mean that you want to be black then, Phil? That means you want to be LTG then, right? That's what that means, right? Or do you want to be Wings and be literally a human man pig with a, well, I can't even call Kelly a pig now. She's losing weight. With your battered wife, which you already have one of those, but whatever. So that means you want to be Wings then too, right? That means you want to be Keem then, right? You want to be an alcoholic, which is something that you both are. You share that and whatnot. So you got something to bond over. And then you guys are into young women. So that's the thing. I mean, your wife isn't so young anymore, but you know, she was at one time. That's the thing. So you're into that. I'm just throwing it out there, apparently, if that's how this logic works. Just saying.
They all wish they were sitting right here in this chair, looking like this, acting like this, having a good living like this.
Is this you trying to cut a promo? What is this? I heard Ravishing Rick Rude say this shit like years and years. Well, it was years and years after he actually cut that promo. But I've heard Ravishing Rick Rude say this shit. You know what I'm saying? I've theoretically heard Triple H say this shit. I've heard The Rock say this shit. Is this what you do when you cut a promo? Fuck you, Phil. Fuck. You know what, Phil? You know what? I'm gonna change the list up. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that Wrestlingaholic, that Wrestleaholic video, or Cultaholic. Sorry, I'm gonna do that Cultaholic video now. I mean, I was gonna do it anyway, but I'm definitely gonna record that in the next day or two. I'm gonna do that now since we're out here cutting promos and shit. So fuck.
Not having to analyze lolcow content all day long because it ain't fun. It's shit. It's like, oh, I can make a good living, but I'm swimming with the pigs and shit to do it. And I don't have to do that. So I'm not going to...
I mean, you had to do that to get in bed with them with the Review Tech USA thing. So it was okay to do that to establish a relationship with KINO Casino, but it's not okay to do it now? And then you're such a coward that after you used... it's funny saying it that way. After you used RTU to establish your relationship with KINO Casino, you thought you were going to re-establish a relationship with Rich by using him to go at KINO Casino? Did you guys ever think about that? You know how fucking two-faced that shit is? You know how scumbaggish that is? That's like giving somebody money for years, and then when shit starts to come out on them, you immediately distance yourself like you guys really weren't that cool. It's that type of coward shit. Wow, bro. That's some fucking insane shit. Ruthless type shit.
I'm not going to watch it, respond to it. I don't know anything about it. I don't care. Have fun. All the idiots of the internet, please go over there. Leave all of us normal people alone. We have important things to do. We have time to share. We have things that we want to do. Enjoy games, enjoy each other's company, not be toxic, not bring down others around us to get success. We don't have to do that. Why? Well, let's see. Because we have morals, because we have values, and because...
You really don't know what that means, do you? You really have no clue what it really means to have morals or values. That's the fucking scary part about that shit. That's insane. Someone who will turn on his own audience at the drop of a hat has the nerve to say that we have morals and values. All right, sure. Whatever you say, champ.
We have talent.
You have talent? You didn't have talent when you were sucking PPP and Andy's dick 8 months ago, but you have talent? Okay.
Get it? When you don't have to tear down others to be successful, that's true talent.
Really? Like what you did with Review Tech USA, what you're trying to do with LTG, like what you try to do with Keemstar and Boogie and Wings, right? Like how you call people like Max a shill and a sellout and they're liars and they're really not about games. They're all about getting a bag. Basically, shots at any Twitch streamer, to be honest with you. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, tearing down other people for profit and popularity is something he could have done a decade ago. It's an easy thing to do. He could do it tomorrow and be successful at it, according to him. Okay.
Anyone can step on someone else to get ahead, but the person who succeeds on their own is the person who truly has talent.
So are you saying begging is a talent? Is that what that's supposed to be? I don't know, Phil. I don't know if it takes a whole lot to sit there and ask someone who works for their own money or who is at least being subsidized by the government that if you can get a piece of that. I don't know if that requires a whole lot of talent. It definitely doesn't require much shame, apparently, but it damn sure, I don't think it requires a lot of talent. I just thought I'd put that out there.
Everyone has a different opinion. Everyone can judge and like whatever they want, and that's fine. But I am not going to change myself, my morals and my values and who I am to get ahead. I very well could. And I had a chance to. And I turned it down, quite frankly. They were trying to pull me into it. I said, absolutely not. I refuse.
What kind of gay shit is this? This isn't fucking KINO Casino trying to pass you the forbidden fruit and shit. It wasn't like they tried to get you to fucking denounce paradise or whatever. What the fuck is this? This is lame. This is lame. You latched on to those people because you had no one else. And you thought you were going to be able to monkey bar off of them to greater prospects. And it didn't happen. Which is one of the reasons why he admitted to snaking them in the first place. They promised him, or they didn't promise him. Let me take that back. They tried to put some collaborations together, and they couldn't come through. Because you can't force someone to collaborate with someone else. It's not a thing. And he was butthurt about it. But if he had so much talent, if he had so many morals and values, then why didn't those people want to collaborate with them off of the muscle, off of his own virtue, if you will? Why did you have to work through other people to get shit done? See, you can't answer that question.
I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm not going to be this toxic drama farmer. Fuck that shit. I'm better than that. And now I really am.
You weren't better than that fucking 8 months ago.
I'm better than that. It's been more than half a year. I'm doing good. I'm very successful. Just doing my own way. This is what I was directly told by them you can't do. You can't just enjoy games. That'll never work. Why would you make that content? That ain't going to work. You got to do what we do.
No, that's not what they said. They said that you need to diversify your content. You need to branch out and do more. They never told you to quit doing games. That's not true. That's literally not the case. You made it up. You lied. You lied. And the sad thing is, it's not a matter that he's lying to other people about it. The sad thing is he lied to himself. He literally lied to himself and formed this narrative.
Well, then why am I successful 7 months later? Why am I getting tons of support? Why is my setup improving? Why are we having a great time all the time?
Why isn't anything that you produce actually, making you money? You're getting tons of support. People are supporting you in your setup, which allows you to buy even more garbage for your setup. But he's not actually saying, oh, people are actually supporting the content, and by proxy, the content's actually drumming up revenue. It's not doing that. He's completely and utterly reliant on being paid to do the content. The content itself isn't paying him anything, apparently. But we'll never address that.
I don't get it. I thought that I was the loser who didn't know what he was doing, and I had to abandon my ways and take your ways. Obviously, it's not true, and people can't stand that. That's why they cope and they see. Then 7 months later, after I'm long removed from that, they're still talking about me. They're still making videos about me. I mean, they wish they were me. One of them literally dressed up and tried to imitate me.
Didn't try to. He did. He did. And he definitely deserves a reward for that shit. I mean, you guys can talk to like Alt and Meerkat from that being said. I'm sure they'll work something out with that. But like, yeah, if you're talking about performance of the year, like I'm sure even Sam would agree with that. That was definitely a performance of the year that Andy pulled. That shit was fucking spot on, bro. Spot on. And then, to be honest, well, let me save that. Well, no, I'll say it now and I'll reinforce it later if I remember. They hit him light. Like, to be honest with you, like, I know I had a lot of fun watching that shit. I had a blast watching that shit. I've had a blast watching that shit. That shit was great. But anyway, they hit him light. Even with all of the references and some of the double entendres and shit in there, as well as some other things, they could have hit him so much harder. That shit could have been far more painful than what it was, which makes me hope, not think, but hope that there'll be a follow-up later on. But trust me, they could have done him way worse. They could have done him way worse if they wanted to. The material was out there.
The other one pretended to be my wife because he's in love with me. I mean,
how do you extrapolate that? I mean, you could have put fucking Andy into a fat suit and you'd have gotten the same effect. All right, bro. All right, whatever. Whatever little weird ass gay fantasies that you have, Phil, do you? Good God, that's icky.
It's pretty funny, right? Like you say, what was it called? I don't even remember what it was called.
You know what it's called?
Like the dented zone or something. And then you see the thumbnail and it's them. It's like, you literally you're calling yourselves dented. You made a video. It's the three of you.
Look at this cope. Look at this cope. And I thought you said you saw screenshots. But you know exactly what's on the thumbnail? Okay, keep strangling yourself, Phil.
Is the thumbnail the dented zone? Did you understand? It's yourself? Your thumbnail's the three of you standing there looking like idiots. Yeah, you're right. You are a bunch.
That's his ego. That's his ego. If DSP just said, I saw 2 screenshots or I saw whatever and left it at that, he'd have been done. See, DSP always wants to come across like he's informative, right? Or he's informed. He's in the know. So now the more that he divulges, the more he's proving that he wants the damn thing. The more he's outing himself. And he's so stupid because he needs to feed that ego. He needs to get his dopamine fix before we get downstairs to that Tangeray. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And he thinks he believes that he's above the shit, and you're not. You're as susceptible to it as any other lol cow monkey who hasn't learned their lesson. And you're just going to eat it. Eat it with a spoon.
Bunch of dents, I guess. I mean, you said it yourself, not me. I didn't even have to watch it. All I saw was the thumbnail of the video.
All I saw was the thumbnail of the video. So wait a second, ladies and gentlemen, because you know me, I'm an asshole, I'm a nitpicker. So we went from, we saw screenshots and saw people talking about it on Twitter or X, whatever, to seeing a thumbnail, to seeing a couple of things about it, to then completely describing what the thumbnail is, to now back to we saw some screenshots again. Like, pick a narrative and stick with it. You can't just keep bouncing around all over the place. It almost makes it come across like you're a liar. Like you're a very dishonest fellow.
Anyway.
Cope sip.
That's all I have to say about that. I'm never going to watch it. I don't give a shit. More power to them. You know what? I hope that they make one a day. Why not?
That's funny because this right here goes back to a few years ago when DSP said, I don't care what people do with my content. They have my permission to do it, so on and so forth. Obviously, it was like 2 years after that is when we found out that he was copyright striking Raw Phil, Dark Dave Mirrors, and Super Crazy. So, and then we didn't even see everybody else because he only showed us one page. He didn't show us everything. So there's that. So remember, he did this exact same thing a couple of times when I don't care what the detractors do with my content, whatever, they have my permission, it is what it is. Now he's talking about years later that he want to sue. Imagine that.
Not make 1 hour video about me a day. It's just nice free advertisement. Seriously. And it gets people talking about me. I had a nice day off yesterday. I come back today. Everyone wants to be on my show to find out my thoughts. I don't have any thoughts. I have more important things to do in my life than watch your garbage. That's made literally for the mentally challenged. No person in their right mind who's sane and has a fucking functioning brain would watch that crap. As they watch the mouth drool.
How would you know? You yourself said you haven't watched it. So how do you know it's crap? And aren't you want to sit there and call them? No, you want to sit there and say, oh, you guys have to be dented because you called your segment or your movie the dented zone. But you're saying right now that everybody who's watching that and who's and finds any appeal or value in it are mouth-drooling morons. They're mentally stunted people. But the movie's about you and your family. So doesn't that make you guys stunted and mentally ill idiots? Mentally stunted idiots? If you want to use that same logic? Okay, I guess if you think the road only goes one way, I suppose that's what the situation is, I guess. That's kind of wild.
Going down and they're opening their wallets and sending you their money because they're stupid. So continue to be the Pied Pipers of the mentally deficient.
Sounds like projection if you ask me.
Have fun with it. I don't care. It doesn't affect me in the least. I'm still good. You do you. Fuck them. I don't give a shit.
And what about your wife, though? How does she feel about it? Does that not concern you that your wife's being depicted a certain type of way? And people are laughing about it? Which is weird to me, too, because you said that she was in such a tizzy multiple times that people brought up you being caught jerking off on the internet. She was downstairs crying multiple times. But she doesn't give a shit about being portrayed the way she's being portrayed now? Maybe that's the real betrayal, ladies and gentlemen. Damn.
Okay. All right. Well, a couple more shout outs and then we'll actually end the show. I got a $2 tip, actually. See here.
Proofreading the shit out of it.
So this person basically says they put in a whole bunch of effort and you're not even giving them the attention that they want. I mean, I'm literally never going to watch it. I refuse. I don't care. I really don't give a shit at all. If it doesn't affect me, why do I care about it?
If you don't care about it, then why do you feel the need to refuse to watch it then? Why do you feel like there's so much pressure on you that you have to refuse something if you don't care about it? Maybe you don't understand the language. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Seems kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to refuse. No one's going to push me into a situation that I don't care about. I'm never going to be in a situation where I refuse to do something if I don't care. If I don't care about it, then I don't have to refuse anything. I'm just not going to do it. That's a thing. There's no massive peer pressure, Phil. We already know you watched it. And if you hadn't, you would eventually do it because you're not going to like the memes that are going to be thrown at you. Curiosity is going to eventually get you killed. Well, it's going to get your wife in Minecraft killed. You know what I'm saying? Along those lines. What the fuck?
Right? Has nothing to do with anything. It's just a bunch of stupid nonsense on the internet. It's like, here's who it affects.
Let it go. Just let it. Just say you don't care and let it go. Just let it go. Holy shit. It's fucking funny as hell watching someone try to ice skate uphill. Stop. Just let it go. If you really don't care, just let it go. If it really doesn't mean anything, if it doesn't have any effect on you, just let it go. Instead of you doing your little gouty prayer hose and shit, try to convince people that you're above a situation that you're clearly not.
People who literally live on the internet 24/7. If your entire existence is on the internet, you must be like, ooh, sick bird. Like, no. This is literally all you do is the internet, Phil. The internet has provided for you in a way that most people, if not most, I would say most people at the very least, most people can't speak of. There aren't too many people who actually have gone on to be successful. There are not too many people that are utter failures in life that were able to go online and make millions of dollars and then turn out to be as much of a failure online as they were offline. There aren't too many people who poach their fucking future fucking significant others offline. You know what I'm saying? That's not a dating app. And you can come up with whatever opinion you may have about that. But there's not too many people who have done that. There's not too many people who have killed relationships that they made offline, online, in real time for people to see. There's not too many people that have done that. There are not too many people who are known for being constant beggars, right? Like yourself. There's not too many people who can actually say that. As well as people who defend predators, pedophiles, domestic people who do domestic abuse, as well as other things. There are not too many people who have shown these aspects of themselves. You have. You literally live and breathe the internet. This is all you have. You're literally saying right now that on your day off, you were checking out what was going on online around this subject, and you were taking it all in. You've admitted multiple times on your day off that you go online and check shit. Why? Your off day is your off day. When you clock back in the next day, then you can see how your YouTube videos are doing or whatever the fuck. Great screenshot, by the way. You did that to yourself. You're constantly online. And you constantly care about what people say about you. Just like Rich does, just like Monday Matt does, just like a lot of people do. A lot of lolcows anyway. That's a thing that you do. You live and breathe the internet. So how the fuck do you think it looks or sounds for someone who's not even chronically on the internet, who lives on the internet, to call other people chronic users of the internet? And then take this in. This is the same ass clown who said, oh, well, they're always taking breaks. They're always going on vacations. Then how are they chronically online? How are their audiences chronically online if they're supposedly taking so much time off? Don't worry, I'll wait. Oh, no. My life is off the internet. My work is on the internet. My life is off the internet. I have a happy family life. I have a great time not being on streams. I work a lot, but I'm successful off and on streams with my life.
But I thought you loved being on streams, though, and you find what you do meaningful, and that's why people value it. And that's why you're glad you can do it. And that's why you're glad you've been able to keep doing it. Now you're saying that you're glad to be off stream. Huh? Okay. Maybe I'm misconstruing that.
live eternally on the internet. I don't give a shit about what people say about me there. Why would I? I still stream and I'm still successful regardless.
No one's preventing you from doing that. What are you talking about? And it's not, and unlike popular, well, it's not even popular anymore. I've damn near stomped that out almost, but, or I've contributed to help stomping it out, I should say. You don't have pride, Phil. You don't have pride. A better man would have given this shit up a long time ago, or at least changed. You've done neither. Then again, you're not a man, so that's the thing too. You don't have no fucking, you don't have any self-respect and shit. You don't have any dignity. You think coming up here day in, day out, begging fucking mentally and physically disabled people, you think there's pride in that? You think there's value in that? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Go for it. Okay. And so we had NDO who dropped.
And then, here, one more thing. He's contradicting himself yet again. Because how is it that KINO Casino are farmers and they milk lol cows for content, but then in the next snort, he's sitting there saying they want him off the internet? Womp womp.
20 memberships. 20 memberships from NDO. Amazing. Thank you, man. Let's get you up on the leaderboard here. $60 of support from NDO. Amazing.
This that have gone so much smoother if he just had it automated. Even a dent like himself can get it automated. It's not that hard.
Who is this idiot? Stop spamming Kick chat. Stop that right now. I'm going to say it once. Whoever's posting paragraphs on Kick, stop that right now. It's obnoxious.
He sounds like a fucking, like a principal. And not even a very good one. like you got marriage problems and shit. You got drinking problems. You probably got like a bottle of scotch or something in your drawer. Something along those lines. You sound burnt the fuck out and shit. Jesus, Phil.
Okay, and Ellie or Eli, E-L-Y, became a member this morning as well. So thank you for that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely positively official. Guess what? We haven't even booted a game, and we have already hit the goal.
It doesn't even matter, though, because the support and the viewership is going to drop off as soon as the Bada Bitch podcast is done. This is tried, true, and tested. This has been proven. So, who cares? Who cares that you were able to fucking convince these people to give you $150 before the gameplay started? Once the money literally dries up the moment the gameplay starts. That doesn't give you any credence and shit. It's not the flex that you think it is. It's actually kind of sad. You're not a podcaster. You allegedly are a gameplay streamer, a variety streamer. But no one seems to want to give you money during the variety streams. Hence the reason why he has those unrecorded segments where he's holding the goddamn game hostage. Okay, I guess get a win where you can get it, I suppose.
Thank you guys for your early support. Hopefully you'll stick around to watch me play some Black Ops 7, and hopefully it's good. I really do.
If the stream goal was $500, if it was even $300, I could probably see him feeling like he could boast about it. But $150? That's it? That's all you're worth? It's the saddest version of a prostitute. I can't even call him an escort. It's the prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Barely street level.
Hope that it's good. But I cannot wait for more action and fun and to not have to worry about the pressure of hitting the goal because we already have. All right? Thank you all so very, very much. And by the way, shout out to all the people who like to keep talking about me because they think that it helps them when in reality, all it does is help me. Fair enough?
Holy shit.
All right, folks. Great show. Thanks for chilling. We need...
Look at this. Look at this. God damn, bro. Like, every time I see that shit fucking creeps me the fuck out. Like, you literally saw him devolve. He looks like, in the beginning, he was a pudgy piece of shit. But goddamn, dude, he has some tone to him. He has some well, not tone, but he has some color to him, I should say. You can see actually the snort stacks of the snort sacks early on too. Now I think about it, I don't know why I never really paid attention to it till now. It's just gotten more defined as the years have gone on. Anyway, the point is you look at him when he used to go outside, when he was forced to interact with people, when he had some type of semblance of a life, and then look at what happened when he fucking started to fully get embraced to the internet, meaning that he was basically working on the internet. Then what happened after that, he started to get fucking paler and shit. And then look at him now, in the end. Like, literally evolution of the fucking gouty vampire and shit. Does he look like he was happy at almost any point of that shit? He looked pissed off and miserable the whole way through. That's insane, bro. When you really take that in. Like, life did not. It's like the meme where if you only knew how bad things were. That's literally what this is. It just progressively gets worse. Like I said, man, a better person would have stopped or made some changes or something. Can't even grow out a full beard anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at how thin that shit got over the years. Good God, man, that's just sad. That's just sad.
To come to a conclusion, or I should say a consensus, about Hades 2. That's what we've got to figure this out. I don't know what we're going to do about Hades 2. Do we play it on Tuesday, or do we start playing Mario Galaxy 2? Let's talk about that over the next couple of days. All right, but in the meantime, thanks in advance for some great days between. There will not be a podcast tomorrow, all right, because I'm going to do another Major Silk Song stream. But I will return on Tuesday with more fun and festivities, and of course, my decision about what we'll be playing. Thank you guys so much. See you soon. All right, folks. Well, good start to the week, that's for sure. Dave, I'm pretty sure I just did, but just in case, because I fucked up.
All right, now the closeout our Cope and Sieve extravaganza. We're here with on October 6th. It's fucking wild, bro. Like I said, we don't care. We never saw it. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any value. But we ain't bitched about it for 3 fucking days. Big ups to Raw Phil. All right, let's finish up strong.
So, I just have one quick thing to say before you all take off for tonight. Some of you saying you're taking off. I just got one thing to add to end the stream tonight, all right? First of all, cheers, everyone. Another chill stream together. Or it was another good one. Now, here's what I would like to say. Let's actually quit out of the game because this music is a little loud, right? What did I say?
I mean, this mongoloid could just turn the music volume down. That is a thing. It's an option to you. Whatever.
On Friday night, before I left, on the Daily Wrap, what did I say? What did I say? I said, it doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what people do. It doesn't matter about any of this nonsense on the internet at all. It doesn't affect me. Okay? Seriously, it just doesn't. None of it bothers me. I don't pay any attention to it, and I just move along, and we do well, right? So, let's see. Yesterday, today, man, let me tell you, I've really been crushed. I've been emotionally destroyed. Everything's going so horribly for me, right? Things are just falling apart at the seams. Man, I can't take it. Remember, it's like every time that one of these dumb things happen, it's supposed to be the end for Darkside Phil, right? Oh my God, did you hear that so-and-so said this? So-and-so's going to do this. So-and-so's coming to get you, Phil. So-and-so's doing a documentary. So-and-so said these horrible things about you. So-and-so made a video about you. And not all of us live eternally on the internet. Not all of us are so no-life losers that all we care about is what drama idiots say on the internet. We enjoy each other's company. We have a good...
Keep in mind, the same drama idiots are the people in his own audience that are bringing this to his attention. Keep that in mind.
Good time. We have real lives. Does it matter what any of these idiots do? No, it doesn't affect me at all. It literally doesn't fucking affect me at all.
Wow.
That's why I don't pay any attention to it And it actually, that's been the way that I have survived all of it in 17 years. While
You're only surviving, you're not thriving. Okay, well, that's gets better from you than me, huh?
moron on the planet tries to ride my coattails and or get a rise out of people by saying things about me, I'm good. So I just want you to understand that, right? This was, oh my God, I can't believe it. What happened on Friday night? How will Phil ever, oh no, how will I ever recover from it? I'm good. No one cares. No one cares.
Except for the people who bring this to you. They seem to care. They seem to care quite a bit. And this is your third day fucking addressing this shit, so clearly you care too. Guess the pignosis is starting to wear off.
In truth, here's really where the whole drama thing, the drama creation on YouTube, here's where it fails, right?
You know, for someone who doesn't think about it and says they do positive content, meaningful content, he seems to know a lot about the drama shit. Just thought I'd put it out there.
The only way that drama content on YouTube would actually matter is if it actually had an impact. Like, for example, let's say so.
If I got 3 days of this out of you, I would assume that it had an impact. I think that's a thing. If people keep making the content, I think there's an impact there.
Someone made a big drama expose on someone, and it actually changed mentality of how people thought about that person collectively across the internet. And that
the internet's not that big. Well, okay, let me reword that before I actually say some shit. The reality is the part of the internet that DSP occupies is super fucking small. It's minute. If like this is literally the dark side, no pun intended. This is literally like the dark side of like gaming content and streaming. That's where DSP occupies. He's not in the larger scope or in the larger sphere of the gaming community like he thinks he is. He never really was, to be honest with you. He was there during its infancy, and then he, in his own terms or terminology, he got shatted out and was thrown into the shadow realm, and he's been there ever since. You know what I'm saying? The people who actually know of him either partake in the drama, or not drama, but into the troll content or detractor content. They've had some type of interaction with him at one time or another, usually bad, or he's just the carcass on the side of the road that they see on their way up. That's literally what this is. Like this detractor shit, like let's call it a spade a spade. This detractor shit, this DSP detractor shit in particular, is small. It is small as shit. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of guys or there's a lot of people who do it, a lot of talented people who do it. But this is small. Small as compared to like the Wings of Redemption like troll community and the reach that they have, the LTG community and the reach that they have. Like the guys that their lol cows have far more prominence and whatnot and far more scope over a larger field. DSP is just notorious. He's a fucking loudmouth that everybody's laughed at one time or another. You know what I'm saying? And there would be some endearance in that if he wasn't such a massive piece of shit. But he is. So no one cares. You know what I'm saying? The guy is literally fucking nuclear. That's why everybody just throws him out as a reference and that's it. It's not necessarily to the Baltimore type situation, the one who shall not be named type shit. But trust me, no one is sitting there trying to give this piece of shit any fucking sunlight. No one wants to do that. And everybody knows if you give him a little bit of attention, he'll latch onto it. Why do you think he watches that being said as often as he does? For one, they bring up good points. But two, it's because of the reference segment that they have, where DSP's caught out in the wild and people are saying all that shit. You can, and I've noticed that even before they even really started doing it, when they occasionally, or people in the chat would bring that stuff up and Alt would go and look for it. Like that's when DSP started to really latch on that shit, because that's when he started saying, oh, well, people know my name. They just don't want to deal with me. I'm not putting that on that being said that they were the ones who, initiated that shit. But what it did do is it gave DSP the reinforcement that there are people of prominence or outside of, his actual sphere of influence who do know of him, and he feeds off that shit. And that's the reason why he watches a lot of that being said. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's one of the reasons, I should say. You know what I mean? And that's not a knock against them. It's DSP trying to latch on to whatever the fuck he can latch himself onto. If he actually listened to what those guys said, it could actually help them. But DSP don't want to do that, and they're filthy detractors. So why do that? So you know what I'm saying? Utilitarianism. Use them for what he can use them for, and then discard the rest. End of story. End of story.
Person literally could not continue to be successful. All right? There's been a few people. I guess you could argue one of them was like, I don't know, EDP, where he was so heinous what he did and he got exposed, and that was the end of him, right? Like, he's never coming back. He's tried. It's not working. He's never coming back. No one's ever going to care about EDP ever again.
Well, one, he's still around. Two, there are people who still watch him. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised that EDP still has, like, he still has, like, the support that dude still has. It was kind of wild to me, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I mean, if people will support DSP, who literally defends a pedophile that he had in-house and he knew about for years and didn't do nothing about it, and he would defend someone who did domestic abuse, why wouldn't people fucking have EDPs back in some way, shape, or form? So there's that.
I've never done anything bad to any caliber.
Well, now, holy shit, now we got to defend ourselves. We have to compare ourselves to a pedophile and who's worse? Wow, Phil. The margin has really, really fallen at this point.
Where people would hate my guts, where people would say, oh, I don't like Phil anymore, I don't like his content. That's never happened. It never will.
You're literally lying about that and whatnot. And like, I'll scrape the bottom of the barrel with one of the most easy examples. That shit that happened with the Project 7 bullshit, the Project 7 Reloaded nonsense. When supposedly KG allegedly had told him, or yeah, it had to be KG. It might have been someone else too, though, but I'm pretty sure it was KG. Had said that he didn't really want to support your content anymore because you pulled a bait and switch and he thought it was fucked up. And you said, oh, okay, well, I get that. And then DSP had acknowledged later that there were other people in his audience who said that they were going to gravitate away from the content because they thought what he did was wrong. But now he's sitting here saying that shit never happened. Fuck Wad.
My worst days are behind me. My best days are coming up.
No, I don't know what your best days were, if you ever had any, but those are behind you. And the worst, the worst of your days are way, way, way ahead of you. Holy shit. There are so many wonders for you to still experience and be humiliated over. It's going to be fantastic. And the fact that you have this sad pittance of fucking hope that one day things are going to get better is fucking crazy to me, which I actually kind of wanted to make that my first YouTube short, where I wanted to talk about DSP is literally your definition of like your one-hitter quitter type person, where he believes that tomorrow will be that day where everything turns around. The day after that will be the day that things turn around. He's looking for that one morsel of sympathy or acknowledgement that he thinks it'll flush away the last 10, 15 years, whatever the fuck, of failure. And it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Not like that. And it'll never wipe everything away clean. And that's how he looked at KINO Casino. And truth be told, that's what he was hoping to get out of side scrollers. And it didn't happen. And it didn't happen. He put too much hope into it. He was far too invested in something without actually understanding what the parameters were. If you want people to support you, you need to be honest with people. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of saw that in the leaks with KINO Casino, but in particular with side scrollers. You want these people to help you? You got to be honest with them. But DSP can't be honest with anybody. He's not even honest with himself. So how do you expect someone who's a massive pathological liar, who lies to himself to get his ass out of bed? He's told us, oh, I was so depressed or whatever, and I was in bed, and Kat told me I need to get up, and I didn't want to get up, and I just wanted to, I couldn't face life. You know, that fucking lame ass shit. Fucking wife had to pull his ass up by the bootstraps. How the fuck were you expecting side scrollers to do that shit, and you weren't going to be honest with them? You weren't going to be on the up and up. You don't get into bed with random ass people without some type of context, with some type of understanding. And you're notorious, you're infamous on the internet. You don't get into bed with people like that without, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you gotta come clean with me on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because no one wants to walk into a goddamn minefield for some fucking retard lolcow. You want to at least understand what the fuck you're walking into, what you're defending, what you're standing up for. See, DSP don't stand up for nothing. He don't believe in nothing. He don't care about nothing. So how could he even relate? You got these two fellas and whatnot from Canada that are sitting there fucking clowning you and your fucking wife, your wife in particular, and you're not doing shit about it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's it? You say you love this woman so much, you're okay with her being depicted like that? Which is crazy, because the reason why he allegedly wanted to keep her off the internet back in the day was so things like this couldn't happen. And look at what happened all them years later anyway. It still happened. It still came into fruition. You can't stop progress. Amazing.
Honestly, to be honest with you, I really believe that. Things have turned around for me in a great positive way in the last year, and I'm very grateful for that. I really am.
Are you?
When people come out, oh, we're going to talk shit about Phil. We're going to do a special episode where we insult Phil and his wife and his family. Oh, we're going to do a special...
If you didn't make that $162, would you be talking like that? It's to doubt.
Cancel Phil episode. We're going to do a documentary on Phil. We're going to do a fucking, parody episode of something on Phil. Who cares? I don't. It doesn't affect me. Because here's the truth. No one...
That's funny, because when when Keemstar was talking about wanting to do a documentary on you and wanted to interview your trolls and all that bullshit, you seemed pretty concerned then. And then you somehow cock-blocked the Mike Klum situation. You seemed pretty concerned about that then. You were up fucking June the King's ass for months, if not probably longer, if not a year, and whatnot, keeping tabs on his ass over that situation. You clearly cared about that. And then you harassed, just in case y'all may have forgot, he actually tried to harass June the King and Frederick Knudsen to do documentaries on his trolls. He wanted them to do that. And he couldn't convince either one of them to do so. And I still think he sends Frederick messages to this very day, and June probably too, saying, hey, you guys need to start paying attention to these guys who do all this stuff to me, because they're just as bad as I am, if not worse. I guarantee you he's doing that. I guarantee you. And honestly, this is just my own little Theo theory, not exactly a Theo theory. If it was a Theo theory, it'd be better. But I have the theory that all this supposed, I have people categorizing shit, and we're keeping tabs on everybody. He's looking for all these fucked up moments in amongst detractors or whatever, so he can use that as ammo. So he's trying to collect it or categorize it or index it to use it as ammo, so he can send it to whoever it is he's trying to convince to do something on detractors, so they can do it later. And one can make the argument that this year hasn't been a great year for detractors for various reasons. But I think that's what he's trying to harvest. And he knows that he can't just isolate one detractor. He has to try to go at everybody, because that's the only way you can make that narrative work. Can't just isolate one person. Got to go after everybody. And I think that's what it really comes down to. Oh, you guys think that I'm such a bad person. These detractors, trolls, haters, critics say I'm such a bad person. Well, look at what they did here. Look at what this detractor did here. Look at what this detractor did here. Look at what this situation was here. Look at this. Look at this. That's what he's going for. I think that's what he's going for. It's not his primary objective, but it's like a secondary or even a third, and what, or at least someone that's in his ear. If it's not him, there's somebody in his ear saying, hey, you may want to have whatever dents that you have on surveillance. Make sure that they're categorizing these situations here, because you might be able to use that later. But yet again, it's not exactly a Theo theory, but that's my thoughts on that. Because it's convenient and it's cheap. It's convenient and it's cheap.
Who makes that content about me is doing it to affect me. You want to know what they're doing?
Oh boy.
They're trying to milk mentally deficient people on the internet.
So you're admitting that you're mentally deficient? Well done, Phil. I mean, the first step to addressing any problem or situation is you have to own up to it. Good job, Phil. I wasn't expecting that out of you, but I'm proud of you. Kinda. I'm not proud of you. Fuck you. But I'm proud of that scenario.
Who do live eternally on the internet. They have no life outside of the internet. All they do is sit on the internet and watch drama shit.
Projection coming from the same mongoloid who admitted to watching Wings troll shit, LTG troll shit. He's more than likely watching LolCow Live troll shit. And then he watches his own detractor shit. Womp womp.
They think it's important. They think it's meaningful. And they support it. In truth, none of that shit ever matters.
Can't they not just be entertained? Can't the content not be entertaining and that be enough to support it?
Matters. It doesn't affect me at all. Look, I've been streaming for 2 days. Have the walls come down? Hold on. I guess I should. Hold on.
Isn't this the same Chicken Little bullshit? The sky is falling, and whatnot. Isn't that what this is? Like, what the fuck? Like, no one's looking to kick in the fucking doors to the Snort Fort. If that was the case, it had been done. To be honest, everybody who cares to know, I should say, understands and knows the layout of the house. Everybody who cares and understands knows where the hatchets are and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, truth be told, like, if this turned into a black ski mask type situation, Phil, and whatnot, if I have at least 2 or 3, if I have at least 4 people, I should say, we can literally blitz you in like 2 different ways in the house, and you guys aren't getting out. You know what I'm saying? In Minecraft, you're not getting out. Like, it's just not a thing. Fucking A, someone could just toss a brick through the fucking window, you guys are gonna freak the fuck out. Stop, Phil. It's not that serious. No one's trying to, no one's trying to do anything on that level and shit. It's really not that serious. It's not that deep.
Have the walls come down? Has the studio lit a flame?
Studio? Okay.
Hold on. Ah! Oh no! Someone did a video about me. Ah! No! 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 Not at all. No one cares.
Who are you trying to see? It's situations like this where he gets manic that makes me wonder, is he trying to convince the audience? Is he trying to convince his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics? Or he's trying to convince himself? That's what I've always kind of pondered. I'll keep pondering it for the time being, but I honestly think that's what it comes down to. He's just desperately trying to convince himself that it's not that bad. That I'm in control of the situation. We're still winning at all costs. I guess. If this is what winning is, I'd hate to see what losing really is.
Cares. Literally no one cares. All of my viewers and supporters still like my content. They still like me. The only people that care are dunces, mentally deficient morons who open their wallets and throw money at toxic people on the internet.
But see, here's the thing. Under those guides and conditions, right, then this right here isn't for people in his audience. He's trying to convince other people then. But those people don't support you, Phil. They don't care about you. They watch the tractor content. So if you're never going to convince those people to come to your side, why are you going on fucking spiels about this? If your own audience is indoctrinated and they already give a fuck about you, you're wasting your own breath. You're preaching to the choir. So why are you really doing this? Womp womp.
It doesn't affect me at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, do you want to know what? I think that's why I become the target so often. Because people know we can actually attack DSP and it doesn't affect him at all. He's never going to be beaten. He's never going to be canceled. People like him legit, you know, and
we are coping. The cope level's getting crazy on this one. We are capping at a level that I haven't seen in quite some time.
So we can just say a bunch of fucked up stuff about him and we can milk the mentally deficient morons who hate him.
And then here, let's go ahead and play some fucking armchair psychology here. So this idiot is sitting here trying to pull, oh, well, here's the thing. You want to know why people make detractor content about me? Because the people who watch it are idiots and they're stupid. And the detractors all sit there and congregate and get into these cabals with each other and think that their audiences are stupid. And so they're just using you. And I see it. Right? I see that they're manipulating you. They don't care about you guys. They don't value you. But you guys keep supporting their content and they think you're fools. They think you're dumb and whatnot. Which is unfortunate because they'll never treat you like actual people. You guys are just there to be manipulated, which is ironic because that's exactly what DSP does to his own audience. Now, this fucking gouty manipulation is nothing new. He tried to do this exact same thing with Secret Limited. He tried to sit there and try to tell detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, oh, he doesn't give a fuck about you. He's just taking all your clips and your hard work and all that bullshit, and he puts it into a compilation at the end of the year, and he makes big bucks, and he makes all the views, and you guys don't get anything. Now, truth be told, anybody who's either talked to Secret Limited or watch the content. I've done the latter. I haven't done the former. No, that's not true. If you've actually follow him on Twitter, which I do, and if you actually read his tweets and shit, you can tell that he actually cares about people. This isn't some fucking massive manipulation scam where he comes out, you know what I'm saying, once a year and shit, collects his yearly tithes and then he leaves. That's not what the case is. But that's how DSP tried to sell it. He legitimately tried to sell it that way. He tried to do something similar to this back in the early restream days with Tevin and LSB. Couldn't sell it there either. He's been trying to do this shit, and it never works. But it's the only thing that he can latch onto. It's the only thing that makes him feel better. Because he really don't have no grounds for anything. Because he's fucking retarded. Great screenshot.
And make profits while he just keeps on. So I think they see.
And then, here's the thing too. One more thing, sorry. He tries to put the notion out that any of us are trying to actually put a stop to DSP. Like, we're trying to get him off the internet. There's a very small subsection that's out there to do that shit. And the reality is, they're really more often than not, really just trying to box him in. It's not necessarily about getting him out. It's about boxing him in. And DSP is doing 90% of the fucking lifting anyway. So he's doing it to himself. He's just mad that people are pointing it out and then they spread it out. That's what he's upset about. The problem is completely and utterly on himself. DSP is literally of the notion that if he had no detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, he would be PewDiePie. Or he'd be up there with him. And there's, even in the fucking, the 7th or 8th circle of hell, that would never be a thing. And even in the greatest day of his life, that could never be a thing. But he has to believe that it will. Because it's the only thing that puts one hoof in front of the other. It's the only thing that keeps him going. That one day, things will get better. That one day, his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics will be exposed for being whatever the fuck they are. And then they get fucking bombed out into the fucking shadow realm. That one day, PewDiePie will come out of nowhere and apologize for all the jokes that he's made over the years. And they do a collaboration with each other or some shit. Or one day, fucking low-tier God will see the folly of his ways and be like, yeah, Phil, you were right the entire time. I'm just this ignorant Negro and shit, and I need the white man to go ahead and help me with everything. You want to do a collaboration, Phil? He literally believes this shit's going to happen, and none of that's going to ever happen. Ever. 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 Death is going to be slow. It's been slow, but it's going to get even slower. Because he won't get his head out of his own ass and accept what his reality is. This is it. This is what it's going to be. And if he thinks the detractors are bad now, there's like 10 others in the bullpen waiting for their opportunity. This shit ain't going to stop. But he can't accept that, though. He has to believe there has to be a pot of gold at the end of the fucking rainbow. Sad. Very, very sad. Amusing, though, but still sad.
Yeah, as like almost like a safe way to do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's legitimately people who they could attack and maybe it would ruin their lives. But for me, it doesn't affect me at all. I'm good. And I want you guys to understand that. Like, I'm fine.
Okay, so keep ringing the dinner bell then. And keep ringing the dinner bell, and then everybody will pop up and get their piece, I guess, if that's what this is. I don't know how this is supposed to be a deterrent, which is what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to deter people. This is supposed to aggravate people into, well, what's the point of going after him if we can't beat him? It was never about beating him. That was never what the game was. You know what I'm saying? It was never about that. If that's the case, then that's surface level shit, and you're probably never going to really get it. You're probably not going to really ever get anything past that, and which is fine if that's what you're comfortable with. But it was never, if you're here wondering, you know what I'm saying, when is DSP going to finally, like, you know what I'm saying, what detractor content is it going to take to get him out of pocket? That's not what the MO is. Not at all. If you're not in here for the long haul, then that's what this is. This is going to be a slow death from here on out. It was never going to be quick. It was never going to be easy. It was never going to be convenient. It was never one of those things. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to get into like Kiwi tapes type shit with that. Like as what all the nonsense he's been going through over that Josh thing, that fucking King Cobra JFS shit. You know what I'm saying? Like him and Smokey kind of overplayed their cards a little bit. More Kiwi tapes than Smokey, but Smokey they both kind of overplayed their cards. They shouldn't have did what they did when they did it. They should have waited on that. So anyway, but that's a whole nother subject for another day.
So when I'm here streaming and people are like, are you aware that this is going on? I'm like, I don't care. I'm fine. Don't ever worry about that shit. We got to worry about, there's a few things. What if I get burnt out? I don't ever want to get burnt out.
That's a personal problem. That has nothing to do with anybody, not your audience, not your detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. No one. That's a you thing. If you can't mitigate yourself and you can't mitigate your time, that's on you. That's not anybody else's worry. That's yours. That's a you problem.
That's more important. That's a bigger worry to me than what is someone saying about me over here. Fuck.
And if you're so worried about burning out, then you need to start taking 2 days off a week then. Hell, maybe you should take 3 days off a week if that's the case. But see, you don't want to do that because you're greedy and you're stupid. And you're obsessed with being online. That's a you problem yet again. Funny at the top there, it says you're not funny. Or you are not funny. It's pretty good timing with that.
Fucking white noise peanut gallery bullshit. Right? I just want to make sure I don't get burnt out. I enjoy what I'm doing. You enjoy what I'm doing. I keep listening to what you're telling me, what you want, and that we reciprocate that level of support. I give you what you want, you support it, right? That's it. That's all we have to.
The view is the support. The time that they spend on the video or on the stream is the support. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how that works. Like, in my own opinion, like, you turning on your stream is not an instant ATM and shit. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that works. And you would think after as many years that he's failed at it, he would realize that. If every time you turn on your stream, you're expecting $300, $500, $1,000, then you're already doing it for the wrong reasons. And eventually, people will catch on to that. That's just the reality of the situation. You put out good content. If you put out entertaining content, people will support it. But badgering them every fucking 5 to 10, 15 minutes or whatever, big ups to Sunspot Gallery and Bacon Sweats, you badgering people and whatnot on that bullshit isn't going to do anything. You're just building and breeding resentment. And then they're not even there, most people aren't even there to support him anymore. It's just to try to stick it to whatever their detractor of choice is at that day. Or is that day, I should say. That's all it is. And just because you're benefiting from it doesn't actually give any validity to what you're doing. That's just the reality of it. You see every person, do you see Moist Critical or fucking Mudahar fucking throwing money at fucking whoever your favorite detractors? Do you see them doing that? No, they don't. Want to know why they don't do that? Well, for one, I'm sure they appreciate the content, but they don't want to feed into that shit because they know that fucking DSP is just going to get pissed off about it. But then again, I also assume those guys have sock accounts. So if they are doing it, they're probably doing it under a sock account. But, you know what I'm saying? Do you hear that mandate amongst detractors, trolls, haters, and critics? Do you go on to that being said and you see them with a fucking huge bell saying, hey, support us? No, it's not a thing. It's never been a thing. It's just not being realistic. That's what real content creation is. Whatever comes out of it is whatever comes out of it. Whatever that form of appreciation is whatever it is. You're doing it because you have something to say, or you have something, or you're looking to use it as some type of outlet. Don't get me wrong, I'm not fucking moral fagging here or anything like that. But he can't name one detractor who turns on the stream and begs for money, and he knows that because it doesn't exist. If it's all for just straight up fucking profit, right? Then point to an example. He can't do it. Not without over explaining it and then exposing himself. Good times all around, though. Good times all around.
Never worry about. Done. Don't care what this guy says, this loser says, this fucker says, because they're all just going to jump out whenever it's fortuitous for them. That's when they strike because, oh, now everyone's laughing. Now I can be part of that. I can become a meme again. Oh, I can get a little rise in attention. All the things I don't care about because I'm the one who for 17 years has always did it his way and I'm still successful today. It absolutely.
How so? When you sat there and you were just bitching and complaining a few weeks ago at the, around this timeline about how you couldn't get people to fucking collab with you. You were bitching and complaining the few months before that about how you can't get sponsorships and endorsements, hence the reason why you're completely and utterly dependent on crowdfunding. This is the same mongoloid who sat there and cried and complained before that, saying that he wished he could get more views and pull more money through ad revenue, but he couldn't because all the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics have all the market space. If he's living so well, and if he's doing so well, and he's so successful, begging, by the way, then why the fuck does he have all these gripes about all these other internal issues, which affects him and his business? If I can acknowledge that, why can't he? So then, yet again, where is he actually successful? Because you're able to fleece and harass and fucking torment, basically, a bunch of fucking mentally ill people to give you their last dollar every goddamn day? And you call that success? And then I thought the content was free, but he's right here saying, hey, I go ahead and put out the content, you ass clowns pay me for that content. It's a give or take. But that's not how that actually works, though. Not everybody who shows up to your stream or your videos should feel obligated to pay you. That's just not a thing. But if everything's transactional, the way he's saying, then he's a whore. He's a prostitute. He's Officer Sanders. He's his sister-in-law. She whores herself out for money. She allows men to take advantage of her for money. Okay, well then Phil's no different then, I guess. Right? Him and Jenna are right there in bed with each other, no pun intended. If that's what the case is, oh, I do something, you should pay me for that. Okay, well, you're a prostitute then. You're not fulfilling a job that I'm ordering you to do, that I need to be done. You're saying that you're putting out something and I can put a value on it. So that makes you disposable. Because I can dictate what I feel that the market's worth for that. That makes you a prostitute. That's what it makes you. It makes you a whore. Just in case you don't know, Phil. Just in case you were confused about that. That's what you are. If you're not providing an actual service, if this isn't a supply and demand type thing, and you're just throwing yourself out there, hoping that someone will pay you for it, whatever it is that you're doing, that makes you a whore. Just thought I'd put it out there.
Absolutely kills people. Kills people. That people could make giant hour-long special episodes canceling DSP, and then DSP.
Who said anything about it being a special episode? All right, then, fair enough. Put whatever value you need to on it to justify your existence.
DSP has 2 great days after that. What do you mean he had 2 great days? That should have been the end of him. I don't get it.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere, folks. None of that shit affects me. You know? It's absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely just fucking funny that people actually believe that. That like anything, I'm bulletproof to the internet. I understand that. All the shit that they say and do, I'm bulletproof to it. None of it affects me at all. Fuck them. It's about you and me having a good time and having those good times every day and keeping that momentum flowing. That's all it is. Things are getting better. Things are on the up and up. Things are getting better, not worse. Okay? There you go.
Hope sip.
And the only people who say that's a cope are people who need to think it's a cope because they can't believe that I'm possibly doing well, because that means that they're losers. Get it? Wait,
Wow.
But if Phil's doing good, despite the fact that all these people talk shit about him, that would mean that I'm the loser because I'm the one who paid money to the people who talk shit about him.
How do you figure when you're the one who bitches and complains about how, great screenshot, that you bitch and complain about, you can't have the same opportunities, you don't get the same advantages that other people have? That's something that literally bothers you. And you've bitched about that for years. For years, he's complained about that shit. And nothing has changed and gotten better. Didn't you get butthurt about how when fucking Teespring, which is now just called Spring, when they sat there and kicked your ass off of their census and shit because you weren't producing, and then you had to turn around and lie and say it was the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics were the ones that got you kicked off of there when you have no proof or evidence of any of that? Now, the Streamlab and Stream Element situation, yes, there are plenty of people. There are 2 people in particular who deserve their credit on that one and whatnot. But we'll continue with the Good Samaritan situation for the time being. Like, what are you talking about? Literally, detractors, trolls, haters, and critics dictate just about every aspect of your life. If everything is on the up and up and everything's so good for you, why can't you afford to take a second day off? Why can't you take a third? Why can't you take a honeymoon? Huh? Why can't you travel? Why are you so scared to film anything inside of your house or outside of your house? Why do you only leave your house once a week? Do you want me to keep going? You want me to keep going? You think it's really successful? The fact that someone like myself, who gives very little fucks about this outside of the mic, or outside of me being behind this mic. I can literally dictate where you're at any given time of the day. I know where you're at. I know what you're doing. And you won't break from that unless you have to. And it's usually something drastic. This mongoloid won't even go and see his sick mother, right? Sick and dying parents, allegedly, but mainly his mother, because all that smoking ain't caught up to her. He won't even go and see her because he values what the internet thinks more than his mother's own well-being. That's not a meme, ladies and gentlemen, from the Dented Zone. That's a real thing. They grab that because, yet again, this is, you know what I'm saying, art imitating life. But this motherfucker wants to sit there and say, I'm doing so well. How the fuck are you doing so well when it looks like you're sick? You literally are sick, but you look like you're sick. And your wife is ballooning up, which is only going to make things worse. But then you have the nerve to sit there and tell Wings, oh, well, you need to take better care of yourself. You need to do this. You need to do that. Why aren't you downstairs telling that to your own wife, the woman that you supposedly love? Don't you want her around? I heard some bullshit about you hope that you die before her because you don't want to be alone. Well, what's she going to do then? You want to talk that shit? Let's talk that shit. You want to talk about how good you're doing? Okay, tell me tell me what your life's like. See, you don't have one. That's why you never boast about it. It's easy to say, my life is great, this, that, and the third. I have a wife, I have this, I have that. If you look at your wife or your kids or just the people around you as objects, then you can say your life's as good as you want it to be. That doesn't make it so. That doesn't make it true. Something to think about. Great screenshot.
Exactly. You're the loser. Get it? You're the one who lost here.
That's why you had to salute yourself 3 times. Great screenshot. That's why you had to salute yourself 3 times. This is how you're going to make yourself feel better at the end of your stream. By calling a bunch of faceless people losers and not proving a point of anything. All the bullshit you're allegedly dealing with is going to be the same thing waiting for your ass tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. The faces may change, but the objective is still going to be the same. If that's not tragic, I don't know what is.
I'll see you all next week for Truck Sim, folks. We'll do it all again, and we'll have a great time. See you then. Okay, everybody. Now I can turn my lights back on. Very good stuff. Let's turn the lights on here. And let's turn this on here. Let's turn this on here. I'm trying. There we go, finally. Okay. Got all the signs on here. Oh, excuse me. Good stuff. All right, so.
Yeah, take it all in, ladies and gentlemen. This is what a winner looks like. Take it all in.
Great streaming day today, everyone. What are we even at for goals? I actually lost count. Are we at 7? We're at 7. Wow, only 3 to go. So likely, if we keep momentum going the way that we have, we'll probably be doing DSP Tries It on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, but probably Wednesday, which I'm happy for. So thank you so much for your support. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will have a podcast in the morning. We'll chill. We'll have a good time together. And then it's the premiere of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Okay? Super Mario Galaxy 2. We're doing it because people did not really stick up for Hades 2 this week. I'm shocked. I thought some people would.
But you put out meaningful content that people like and enjoy and shit. It's amazing. If that's the case, then why do games always have to be on the chopping block? If a game's not being supported, why can't we just still finish the game out? Because, you know, it's better to be a completionist and whatnot, or at least it's better to start. If you start something, you should finish it, than just jump off to the next thing that's going to pay you, like a whore. Maybe it's just me.
People didn't seem to want Hades 2 to continue, so I guess we're going to do Mario Galaxy 2 and see how it goes tomorrow. And then tomorrow night is my final stream of the Call of Duty Black Ops 7 beta. It ends on Wednesday, so I said I want to squeeze in another stream. I was actually kind of hitting my stride and starting with cool weapons like the crazy sniper rifle and stuff when I ran out of time yesterday. So we're going to do that tomorrow night. That's going to be great. I hope you'll join me tomorrow for another great, fun day of content. All right? Thank you so much. Let's keep it going. Great week so far. Lots more coming. You guys are awesome. Everyone, I wish you all the best. Have a good night. I'll see you all in the morning. Good night and peace out. Bye-bye.
Literally sounds like he treats these people like they're employees. Like, what the fuck? Good day at work today, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Oh, man. All right. Let's see here. What are we going with? What are we going with? What are we going with? What's this?
You were gaslighting.
Oh, my bad. That's probably gonna be our next project, actually. That's what that is. All right. Actually, you know what? Here, let me give you a sneak peek of this shit real fast. Actually, for you guys, some of you, I'm not sure if some of you guys have actually seen this.
You were gaslighting a lot of people about what you were doing with WWE champions because you were ashamed to show it.
It was a huge mistake. I absolutely shouldn't have done it.
Which is funny because he still does it. So I don't understand how that's a huge mistake when he still does it. Anywho. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Let's give final thoughts and then let's cash out. Let's see here. Why not? Okay. All right, final thoughts and I'll let you guys go. Let's see here. The cope is insane. The cope is insane. He literally tried to prance around that subject without actually addressing what the core issue is. Which, it's funny, because if you hadn't seen it, then what are you so hesitant about, right? You're marks of a coward. And the reality is, I think it's just too painful to address. I don't think he's going to have a really, I don't think he can. I don't think he can mount an offense on that. He can't. He can attack KINO Casino all he wants, but he can't actually mount an offense against that movie. He just can't do it. It's too well done. It's like I said, it tackles it tackles a lot. He just can't do it. He can't do it. He really, really can't. And then again, for someone like me, watching it gives me a better understanding on why the Mike Clums situation didn't happen. My theory was that the reason why we didn't get the Mike Clums situation is because of, big up to Chio, by the way. The reason why we didn't get the Mike Clums situation is because Mike Clums' connection to Boogie, which i.e. would mean his connection to Keemstar. And I still firmly stand on that. But I also think if Mike Clum really walked into that house, and if he did any type of filming, even if he didn't film, if he just walked into that house, then you see the problems and the situations with it. Because keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget our narrative here. The floors in the kitchen are coming up. Most of the bathrooms were broken or disabled at that time and whatnot. He had all the trash that was still in the garage around that time. That place would have been a pigsty. There's no way Mike Clum had walked into that house and not smelled or seen it. And that's even if he was even there. And he says he was, so I don't have a real reason not to believe him, but he's been mighty quiet as of late, so who could say anything about anything? So DSP getting in front of that situation, unveiling Cat, it wasn't just that. It was also getting everything else out there before it could be used against them, which I'm actually contradicting myself. Because if Kat was not on film, then why would DSP put her out there unless he was worried that Mike Clum just came out and said, oh, well, she's a heavy-setted bitch. And Phil thought that was just enough to be like, to push him over the edge to have her come out. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's clear that Mike Clum at least met her. He's at least seen her. So that was the thing. I don't know. I would say, though, that he can't mount a defense. Like, I gotta tell you, it's probably one of the best pieces of work that's been put out on DSP ever. You know what I'm saying? And The amount of time and effort that was put in is there, but more importantly, the talent is there. The writing is on point. The acting's fantastic. You know what I'm saying? And it illustrates what, to be honest with you, what a bunch of us already think anyway. Think about it. When Kat was unveiled, we had already said that she had already plumped up and she had already gained a bunch of weight and whatever. DSP proved us right. People had said that the house was messed up, that he never fixed any of the toilets, that who knows what kind of long-term damage he has. We were right. We all said that, oh, DSP is just looking to refinance his home so he can bleed all that money and he's going to fuck himself over. Time will tell, but we're going to be right on that too. There's not a thing that DSP can do to fight any of that off. And truth be told, the dented zone is just the visual reinforcement of that. His best bet is to keep his mouth shut. His best bet is the hope that iDubbbz, if he actually does it, which hopefully he don't, because he's only going to hurt himself, but that iDubbbz does do another content cop, and his shit's an actual knockout, which it's not going to be. So you're not going to do that. Like, Ian's not going to out-talk PPP. It's not a thing. And Lord knows, given how well this shit happened, the last thing fucking Anissa and iDubbbz needs is another KINO Casino Productions going at them. You know what I'm saying? Rich don't need that shit. Wings don't need that shit. No one really kind of needs that right now that are lol cows. It's not favorable. Anyway, it was all coping and seething. DSP should just take the L and just move on it. He can keep saying that he's happy. He can keep saying that he's healthy. He can say all the cope shit that he needs to. The reality is, this was damaging. This was very damaging. Is this going to force DSP to quit? No, but no one wants him to. No one wants him to quit. From fucking KWO to SOK to fucking Tevin to fucking now, that being said, if you will, to even KINO Casino, to even Lol Cow Live. No one wants you to quit. You're going to get bled out one way or another. At the end of the day, bacon's going to be on that table, no matter what. And if it's not me cutting it up, it's going to be somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Oh, shit. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Snort Report, and this has been DSP News. Always late, never breaking, and unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh, yes, a GTG network of productions. For the Snort Report, Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, SnortBucks Coffee Company, the best beverage company, Tim Snortons, and all of our subsidiaries and affiliates, I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Enjoy your holiday season, guys. Hopefully everything goes well for you guys for Thanksgiving and for Christmas to follow, and New Year's after that. And hopefully I get a chance to see all you guys next year, the year after that, and the year after that. But I've been your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, people. Later.
Hey yo, I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago, and I think about you every day. But you know, now I got a blue bike, and it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that is a comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with phonics.